Strength or cardio? I'm going to argue there's actually not that big a difference. They're actually the same thing. They just occupy the extreme ends of the same spectrum. We'll talk all about it in 2 seconds. Welcome, I'm John Health and Fitness, certified fitness professional working in the Washington, D.C. area. Today we're going to talk about strength and cardio, or maybe I should call it strength cardio, because I think it's really useful to start thinking about these things as the same thing. Now, I don't mean all exercise is the same. Speed, agility, quickness, SAQ drills, flexibility, balance, those really are very different kinds of things. But strength and cardio both occupy the extreme ends of basically the same thing. Let me start by explaining some of the different kinds of strength there are, and you're going to see how this kind of follows through to the cardio. There's something called maximal strength. Maximal strength is basically you want to push as much weight as possible. This typically involves very heavy weights and very few repetitions, maybe as few as 5. Move a little bit further along the spectrum, and you get to hypertrophy. Typically slightly less heavy weights, but through more reps, say 8, maybe to 12. Then you get to something called strength endurance. These are lighter weights yet, and now you're shooting for rep ranges of between 12 and 15. And the idea is you're reaching basically exhaustion towards the end of that rep range. Why don't we just take that further? What if the weights continue to decrease and the rep range continues to increase? Maybe just body weight. Start taking those rep ranges up to 20, 30, 40, 50. Quick example. Here's a basic squat here. Coming up on my toes a little bit, so I'm working quads, glutes, hamstrings, and calves. Rep range, say 10 to 15 here. All right, put the weights down. Speed squats. These are really fast. That's cardio. What's the difference? The difference is the amount of weight and the number of reps. That's it. So is there a difference between the two? Yes, there is a difference. There's a difference of emphasis. If you're going for strength, you need to train for strength primarily. Move those heavy weights. If you want to have a maximal squat, you're going for 200, 300, 400 pounds, you've got to train for that. If you're training for sprints or a marathon, you're going to do more running, more cardio. But it's still the same muscles. It's still the same idea. It's still weight, it's still resistance, and it's still reps. Why is this important? Because I want to get away from this whole notion of there are cardio people and there are strength people. It's all kind of the same thing, just opposite ends of that spectrum. There's a reason why cross-training works. Why? Even if you're a runner or a sprinter, doing heavy squats maybe once a week or so will improve your run times. Same muscles, shaking it up a little bit, but you're strengthening them. Lower reps, heavier weight can help you with your higher reps, lighter weight runs. So it doesn't have to be this big war, does not have to be this big controversy. What's better for fat loss, what's better for general conditioning, what's better for health, it really depends on your specific goals. So again, if you're primarily interested in running, if you enjoy cardio, then you would focus on that. But you can throw in the weight training too, it will help you. If you're interested primarily in weight training, a little bit of cardio is not going to hurt. Condition the muscles a little bit. But there's not a titanic difference. They are not two entirely different animals. They're the same thing. It's resistance or weight, and it's reps. It's just a matter of how much and how many of each. And of course, there are things in between. There are things in between doing speed squats, pure body weight, versus say pure cardio where you're just trying to get that heart rate up, and you're doing hundreds of reps, and extreme weight where you're doing maybe 5. A lot of group fitness classes are like, there's somewhere in between. What is that? I call it strength cardio. In fact, sometimes I mash them up. I'll do a move that's basically a weighted move where you're working on strength, and then immediately following that, I'll drop the weights and do kind of the cardio version of that. That's because I know there's not that much difference. There's difference in energy systems, there's difference in how your body responds, but we're still talking about reps and weight. So next time you get into an argument about which is better, well, it's going to partly depend on what you want to emphasize as part of your fitness goals. But it's not a matter of which is better, it's just where you fall in that spectrum. All the way at one end, all the way at the other end, or somewhere in between, or all of it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to hear your experiences between cardio, strength, some mixture of the two, and what you find most beneficial for you. Before you go, think about subscribing, hit the alert bell, or you'll basically never see me again. That's just how YouTube works. Thanks very much. Take care. I'll catch you next time.